All right. Seeker.
Yeah.
You're doing one of two things right now. You're either hoping the spell will trick the dragon into believing you're dead, or you are playing dead and using the spell to help your acting. Which is it?
I'm not understanding the difference.
It's a very fine distinction. If you go with the former, I will let you make an intelligence performance check. If you go with the latter, I will let you make a standard performance check at advantage.
Let's go with the former.
Okay.
All right. Intelligence, performance. If I die, worst case scenario, I die.
This isn't something that their raised dead will bring you back from, because I don't see them launching an expedition.
I'm willing to sacrifice a character for a good story, and I feel like I got my part.
Ooh.
I'm going to use 4 blips.
I was gonna say I have 4 blips if you want to auto success that.
No, I will auto success myself.
Okay.
So I think everybody's off death's door right now.
The dragon puts his face very close to yours and draws breath through its nose, sniffing at you for a moment. Then there's a loud crash as he cracks into the wall behind you and pulls loose a large chunk of rubble. With his other claw, he jams your lifeless body into it.
Ugh.
And you're not even really resting on a ledge, so to speak. Like, your body is just kind of precariously balanced inside of this little nook. After that, he pushes off the wall and flies back up to the opening. So the dragon's leaving your threat range.
I'm good.
Take it, coward.
And that's going to bring us to Florian. So Florian, as you're dragging all of your companions' bodies back up the stairs, only a few moments have passed. And then you hear the sound of the dragon striking the wall. And then just a moment later, crashing with his claws back into the huge opening behind you. And it's your turn.
I am, as quietly as possible, dragging my friends' corpses.
Which one?
Gus would want you to save him for last.
Oh, yeah, apparently I have a...
You have 1 healing potion. The 2 healing potions we have left are on Seeker and Lucius, just reminding you.
I used my healing potion.
Sorry, not Lucius, Florian.
I could have sworn I've used my healing potion already, but... yeah, let's bring back... Let's bring back Gus.
Okay.
2d4 plus 2.
Upend a potion into Gus's maw.
And all Florian does is just put a finger to his lips. Just goes...
And that's going to bring us to Lucius, who's unconscious, and then to Gus.
Yep. Okay, give me 1 sec. All right, I'm alive. Great. I'm going to take a look at Florian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take... Yeah, I'm going to nod. I'm going to pick Alexander up, put him underneath my arm, kind of like you carry a small dog.
A small dog with a big gun.
He doesn't have a gun. He has a crossbow. Oh, he has a gun, doesn't he?
No,
Yeah.
I have a crossbow. Give it a week.
Okay. And I'm going to throw Lucius and an Alexander. Oh, well, I can't pick both of them up.
You can carry one of them.
Right.
Lucius is probably heavier.
If you were Goliath, you could carry both, but you're not.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Florian carry Alexander. I'm going to fireman carry Lucius.
Okay.
And I'm going to just make my way up the stairs.
All right, so moving up the spiral of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Seeker.
Seeker. So here's the fun thing about this guy's self.
Yeah.
Does not take a concentration slot.
It does not.
And Seeker is going to start rapidly Spider-Manning his way out. His only hope is that, like, well, first of all, what can I see? Because I got 60 feet of dark vision.
So you dropped 50 feet from the opening, and you were 50 or 60 feet descended down the stairs by that point. So it's well over 100 feet above you. Looking up and down, you can't see the end of the chasm at either point. Looking around the walls, though, you see that where the walls have frequently been torn apart, probably by the same method that this dragon just did. You realize that the walls of the chasm are made out of very soft, like maybe sandstone. Very easy to dig into. And looking beneath you, you start seeing large burrows open up. And in some of the burrows, you can see movement of the blind men as they're kind of worrying out at the edge of the holes.
I think I'm gonna make my way horizontally across the crevice,
Okay.
like just dragging myself along the wall, in the hopes that I can find one of two things: either a crack that's small enough for me to fit in and not the dragon,
Okay.
or a way upward so that I can get into the sunlight.
Question, because I don't remember. This is still open, isn't it?
It was partially open, yes, when you guys
Okay.
came back down in, but it looked like the top of it was almost regrowing. But Seeker's not close enough to be able to see the opening, and there's no light source up there to shine down through.
Yeah, but you would have seen that there was an opening when you came through.
Yeah, but that's like closer in the dragon's direction.
Yeah.
So like that's my like, and if I can't find either one of those two things, then I'll eventually make my way back. But
Okay.
that's like far in the future.
Roll some percentile dice.
All right, I love percentile dice. All right, let's start with.
You get that
10.
many blind men on you.
How far are you able to crawl in one round? I mean, you're levitating along the wall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, so I can drag myself up to my speed, which would be, I'm assuming, my crawling speed, so 25 feet, and then I can levitate myself an additional 20, but
Okay.
only up or down.
Up or down?
Yeah.
Which?
So that's tens. So if I see like a crack above me, then I'm good. I can levitate myself into it. But if it's another 20 feet down the line, I need to wait till next round.
Okay.
87. That's pretty high.
After a few feet, you manage to get your hand on a chunk of stone that doesn't feel right. And worrying at it a little bit, you realize it's been placed there, and it does cover up a small crack in the wall. And you manage to, with some work really quickly, you haven't used an action this round, correct?
No.
So you could use your action to dislodge the stone that's been placed here. Do you have any kind of proficiency with tools that would do mining or excavation, masonry, anything like that?
I do not believe so. No.
Okay. So the main danger you can think of is unpacking this hole and there being something inside that you're not aware of. So
At this point, I feel like that's like I'm already in do or die mode. If I
Okay.
die from some random thing and not the dragon, I mean, what's the difference?
Ralph Wiggum's in the back of the bus.
he crawls in the hole. Ferocity's already in there.
I have no idea how I got here.
So are you going to open up the hole?
Yeah.
And you do indeed
Places to
get a small crevice. So I guess you don't even have to squeeze through it since you're a gnome.
Nope.
And
places to skip in an infinite multiverse.
what's the name of that? It's the only manga I've read that I liked with the fault line. When you go through the...
Amigara Fall.
There, yeah, that's the one.
I'm shocked you've read a manga. Wow.
It's the only one I've ever read, and I only read it because somebody pasted one of the panels from the middle of the story, and I thought it looked awesome, so I went and read it.
I would be shocked if it was anything else or if he had read any additional ones, but with just that one, no, that makes sense to
No,
me.
that's the only one. It's a great horror story.
I love me some horror manga.
So you push your way into this, and it does look like like one of the blind men may have made this tunnel for passage, and it kind of twists and turns away from you. You kind of have to feel your way in, and you don't know where or if it's going to come out anywhere.
Well, we're gonna find out.
You move in deep enough that you're relatively sure the dragon can't fit inside, and you can no longer see out into the main chasm, which you think means that it can't breathe into it.
Awesome.
Alexander's unconscious. I might get you yet. Florian. I think we can... I don't think that guy's going to be consequential anymore. The dragon clambers to the base of the spiral and cranes its neck and one of its claws around at you. And it's become apparent that this is as far into this tunnel, or into the staircase, that it can comfortably fit. It can't move closer than this. And it lashes out with one of its claws and crashes against the wall next to you. Not as though it's just trying to claw you, but as though it's trying to grab hold of Alexander's unconscious body.
No.
And you see just menace in this creature's face as it can't quite reach out and grab you. And you're just outside of its attack range, and it opens its maw, and you hear that gross gurgling sound in the back of its throat. You can feel the caustic air on its tongue. And now it's your turn.
Roll.
Yeah. No. Haul ass.
Seeker, you're aware in the direction where you left your companions of a loud, horrible roar. Florian, seconds after you escape up the spiral, a gout of acid blackens the wall where you were just standing. But it's not able to curve up the stairs. It just leaves this large black gash in the stone. And after a few moments of escaping, you and Gus manage to get back to the top of the stairs. And Seeker is nowhere to be found.
Are we still on initiative?
No, we can come off initiative for the time being.
Okay. Gus puts his hand on his heart and says, I'll miss the little soulless homunculus.
Who's Scrappy?
No, Seeker.
Oh. Seeker.
Yeah.
Make me a hide check.
Okay.
Go big.
Hey, worst case scenario, if I stop moving, they might think I'm dead still. Still got that disguise self up. That's a 4.
Go ahead and take an auto success. I'm out of blips.
Okay.
Auto success on that. So over the course of the next minute or so, Seeker, you hear this roar of anger. And then more crashing in the main chasm as the dragon comes back, lands against the wall where he had left you. More roars and sounds of anger when he realizes you're not there. And he begins clawing about the walls in all directions. After a minute or two, everything falls dead silent. And it stays that way for a very long time. How long does Disguise Self last?
Only an hour.
Only an hour. Not quite that long. But I mean, the seconds feel like hours. What about you guys up top? What's your next move?
I'm going to... Well, I think we should get the two unconscious folk outside
So
first.
the idea here is that Seeker has sacrificed himself to save all of us. Let's get out of here while we can.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm coming back. I just got to... we got to... Like, we can't do anything when I'm carrying, like, the weight of a dead human.
So you guys are going outside, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. For the time being.
Tom is still there, and at first, I mean, you see that look on his face, like previously, like, oh, you guys look like you had a fun adventure. When he realizes there's only 4 of you, and 2 of you are being carried, you can see concern.
Mm-hmm.
He just cranes his neck behind you as you guys come out of the opening of the mausoleum, and then looks back to Gus and Florian. He just says, Seeker?
And I shake my... Yeah, we just kind of shrug. We're gonna go look for him, or I am. I don't know about Florian.
There's a dragon down there.
Seeker, what are you doing in the tunnel?
Seeker's gonna keep crawling his way through the tunnel because by this point Levitate has run out, so that's his escape route back through the pit.
Okay.
So he needs to either find somewhere where he can rest and get his spells back, or find his way up into the light.
So, you're not sure how far you've traveled. Mainly because your main reference point was the sound of the dragon thrashing about, but it has fallen silent now. And you're cognizant of twisting and turning through the tunnel and kind of feeling your way forward until you put your hand out and it rests on what feels like bone. And you realize that the little tunnel is kind of widened a little bit. Maybe to the size of one of these smaller rooms that you've seen earlier, except this time made out of the natural sandstone walls. This wasn't a mortared room. And it looks like another one of these nests, one of these living quarters where these creatures had been staying. Debris strewn about, pitch black, not comfortable at all, and no other openings.
All right, then yeah, my only hope is to put up the beads over the tunnel entrance and sleep until tomorrow.
So you're putting the beads up?
Yeah.
All right. Somebody up top, I'll let one person make a perception check.
I've got +0.
All right, Florian, go make that perception check. Apparently.
Okay.
Make this hovel a home.
It is a
Hole.
9.
Whole sweet hole.
I
9.
live here now.
The mausoleum falls silent as you guys leave. In fact, as you're leaving up through the stairs, you don't even hear the chittering or gibbering noises from the chasm the way you had been the whole time. Does anybody get close enough to the center to look down and see what the dragon's doing? I mean, you guys are already outside, so that already didn't happen. And Gus, when are you going back in?
I'm gonna take a short rest and then go back in. Like, here's the thing: is if Seeker's not already dead, an hour is not going to make a difference.
Can you spend hit dice while you're unconscious?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, then I'll be up when you're up, Gus.
Lucius won't. He spent all of his hit dice on his last thing.
So Lucius needs a long rest before he can even wake up and come out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
So everybody can take the benefits of the short rests?
3 and 8.
I unfortunately did not get anything from a short rest this time.
So are you leaving Lucius upstairs with Tom?
Yeah.
Gus, Florian.
Did anyone grab my crossbow?
Oh, you guys have all your equipment. None of your equipment got left behind.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that to you.
I think when you yeah, okay. I've definitely done that to people.
I mean, I can summon my equipment from anywhere in the.
We'll say I have a strap, and my crossbow, if I fall unconscious, just falls to my back.
Yeah, sure, why not? We can say lots of things. So what does the search party look like when the three of you go back in?
Well,
I'm just gonna.
Okay, Gus, here's the thing. I can move somewhat quietly if I want to take my armor off before we head down there. Would it be better for me and Florian to sneak our way down and try and not get in any fights looking for Seeker?
I mean,
I'm
I'll
not
come-
great at it. Believe me, I'm not great at it. Is this... Let me see exactly how this works. As a Surf Niblum, I actually do have a racial bonus to stealth, but let me look at what the requirement is for that.
Oh, your deep gnome magic or whatever it's called.
No, that's a feat. This is just like, and I think it's like Rocky Train, but I want to see exactly how they worded it.
Oh, you didn't take the deep gnome feat? Oh, okay.
I
you're
almost
right.
took it. It's real good.
That's one of the racial feats out of Xanathar's, isn't it?
Yeah, that's super good. rocky terrain. Does this count as rocky terrain, or is this too worked?
It's stone. I mean, what does the feat say it does?
I have advantage on dexterity stealth to hide in rocky terrain.
Yeah, this is bricks and mortar. I would say down in the chasm area where it's sandstone, we could probably have it count there.
Okay, well then there's no point for me trying to be stealthy unless Florian can like become invisible or something.
I could, but I don't have the spell slots.
Okay.
So here's what I propose we do.
Yeah.
All right, I tie a rope. You take
Where did
your.
the Seeker go?
He went into the pits, from what I've been told.
Flung himself into the pit to play with the dragon.
Okay.
But the Seeker always has a plan. So.
Right.
As you guys are standing here, you realize that the tomb is as silent as you've ever noticed it. You do not hear the chittering echoes from all around. Probably because you've killed everyone up on this level.
Florian, can we magic like to find like Seeker's orb or anything? Wait, he uses a pen, right? A quill?
Yeah, he uses quill to cast spells.
Too bad we don't have Seeker, because Seeker probably knows locate objects.
I need
I don't
to.
know if Florian copied that out of his spellbook.
I need to get a glass of water. You may continue to plan.
But I do have detect magic that I can cast as a ritual.
I feel like that's not far enough, right? Okay, so if you're Seeker and you jump out of the pit, down the pit,
Yeah.
and you survive the dragon, what do?
Well, we don't
Climb
know
back
what
up the pit?
right. We
Well,
don't know.
let's-
We don't know what the pit looks like.
Thinking what Seeker would do is that since his preferred method of doing anything is to be conniving and a trickster, he probably tried to trick the dragon.
Okay.
I don't know how necessarily one does that by flinging oneself into a pit.
All right, what have we decided?
So you're saying the levitate dropped and he just fell to the ground when Seeker jumped?
Well, if he's levitating, he didn't drop to the ground, but I don't know what he did from there.
So do you think he maybe levitated himself up the side of the pit?
Hmm.
I feel like the dragon probably would have gotten him before then.
Well, there are. I mean, this has been blasted out. It's not. It's not a stretch to say that there could be other cavern sides.
Okay, Gus, if you want to tie a rope to me, I'll go down a few feet down the pit and see if we can see anything.
Yep, that was my plan. That was what I was going to suggest.
So Florian will use Fateful Naming to try and cast Bless on Seeker, but it fails regardless of however far away he is.
Yeah, what name do you use to cast that on Seeker?
The quote real one that you gave him.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
My friend
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff Moss, I think it was.
Jeffrey
Wait,
Moss.
Jeffrey Moss.
Does
Yeah.
that mean Seeker's dead?
It just means that he's not in range.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, lower me down, Gus. I'm not
So-
going to bring a light with me, but I'll be able to strike one if I need it.
Okay, do you want to take your armor off?
So
No,
you're
I
lowering
can-
him down the main chasm here?
Yeah. Well, he's going to just like. What he's going to do is he's just going to peek into the hole and see if he can't like see like what the states of the walls and stuff.
So the two options you have are to trek out onto the partially collapsed clay mass in the center and lower him down the still forming hole in the center, or to break apart part of the clay mass from the side and have him rappel down the side.
Okay.
I think I should walk across, and then if it breaks out under me, you'll just catch me, and I can repel.
Yeah, he's got a rope. I got a rope tied to my waist.
Doing it from this position, and yes, the clay does in fact crumble beneath you.
All right, then I want to go down about 15 feet and just okay, Gus, bring me around this pit once slowly, and I'll see if I can see anything.
We do that.
Okay, make a perception check.
Twelve.
This high up in the pit, as I described it to Seeker earlier with all of the break marks and the tunnels leading off to the side, virtually none of that this close to the top. What you see instead here and there are claw marks against the walls where it looks as though the creatures periodically and frequently climb this high, but there's no actual breaks in the stone 15
They
feet
are,
from the top.
the small creature claw marks, not dragon-sized claw marks, right?
Correct. These would have been the bald blind men.
All right. Well, I don't see any evidence. Pull me back up. I don't see any evidence that we of anything aside from the fact that the blind men could climb up here. So the dragon doesn't seem to come up this high.
Mm-hmm.
And even 15 feet down, I mean, from there you can make out the opening far beneath you against this side wall over here.
Okay.
Where you fought the dragon earlier.
So we should probably... we should definitely look at least that high. Surely he wouldn't have gone down 50 feet.
I feel like if we're going to try to do anything else, it's better to wait for morning. I don't think we can do anything to save Seeker now with the three of us. Like, we actually want to repel a decent distance down. I was hoping we'd see like a place that would be obvious for hiding or something.
Yeah.
Or
It
again,
is very
maybe a
quiet,
levitating
though.
Seeker.
Which makes me think that there's nothing else but the dragon here. It might be advantageous to just quickly wander around and check everything.
I need one bit of help here, Gus.
Mhm.
Help me grab up some of the scrap metal as we're going around if we're going to do that.
Yeah, okay. There was chains and all that other stuff.
Yep.
Do you want to go down there and grab the remains of Scrappy?
That would make it easier, because then we wouldn't need much else, but I don't know what that acid did to it. I'll go with you. I've got a bow still.
I mean, it's 495 pounds of melted iron slag.
Yeah, we'll have to drag it.
So what's the intention? Are you guys going to recover Scrappy?
Yep. I
Okay.
can fix him. So the dumb thing is, during a long rest, I can just basically conjure a new one, but for flavor perspective, I'd rather, actually have the metal to work with.
All right, let's roll some random encounter rolls here. You guys are going back up top.
Yep.
It's a long rest.
Yep.
And Seeker is going to sleep inside the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
See if Seeker is disturbed by the purple worm that's lurking down there.
Oh no.
Oh, this
Give
was
me
a
one
mega dungeon. We didn't know it.
Everyone may take the benefits of the long rest.
I need
Lucius is probably at 1 hit point now, right?
So I
You get half
should
your hit
wake
dice
up
back.
an hour earlier than them because I didn't do anything before them. However, I will take that hour in here anyway.
So,
'cause-
Lucius, you didn't have any hit dice to spend, yes?
Nope.
So at the end of the long rest, you gain half of your hit dice. So next time you rest after that, you can spend those to regain hit points.
Mhm.
But even after,
So am I still
it's
unconscious though?
you're still unconscious, but it's evident that you're stable and you're not bleeding out. You're not in
I'll
danger of
immediately
dying.
do an hour rest with Lucius then to get him back on his... You know what? No, Lucius, take a cure wounds.
Okay.
But then I will also spend an hour rest because I need to spend the hit dice I got back on that long rest. You get 11 back.
Thank you.
So it is well into the next evening by the time you guys are finished resting and licking your wounds. Seeker, what do you do after you come to?
Alright, so first things first.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's gonna have to wait.
Good. That's what we were all worried about. Whew.
Because
I was
I am
worried.
going to spend an hour casting Find Familiar
Okay.
to summon my new angel friend. Friendship with Tony over for now.
I thought it
Casey
was
is my new friend.
I thought it was the same creature every time, just in a different form.
Yeah, but I call him Casey when he's in this form.
Okay.
Because he is a bat.
Nope. Try again.
Ow. Ouch.
And using
No.
his sense of blind sight out to 60 feet.
He could have gone
I-
with Bruce. I'm just saying. He could have gone with Bruce, and we've all been happy.
Could have. I am going to crawl my way back out and attempt to levitate myself up to where the creatures had burst the skin of that clay.
Okay. Make a hide check.
All right. Well, first, since I have woken up, let me know if I'm rolling in opposed this hide versus perception.
Oh,
against
you
something.
absolutely are. Well, I mean, against passive perception.
Okay, it rolled a 1.
Well, it's not rolling anything. It's their passive perception.
Mm, No, I'm gonna take that 13 that I rolled,
Okay.
and that's a 15.
So you levitate upwards. And as the opening of the chasm comes into view, you realize that most of the clay all around the edge has been completely demolished to the point where it's open now like it was when Scrappy first almost fell through it.
Oh, he did fall through. He just got levitated back out.
He did falter. And I'm going to just pull myself hand over hand off over the clay. And then to make as silent as possible, I'm going to drag myself along the wall of the chamber to take off the floor.
Okay. As you near to... Are you going... I guess you're going around this direction.
Yeah.
As you get to here, you hear... what's your passive perception? Maybe you don't hear anything.
So is it a hearing check? Casey has advantage on perception hearing checks.
Yeah, you can use his passive perception with the
And he
advantage.
rolls a...
It's not a roll, it's his passive.
He gains a 16.
Okay. You can, or rather, Casey can hear some of the blind creatures in this hallway. Now, this is an area of the dungeon that you had previously cleared of these creatures. And you don't hear the constant chittering and echoes like you normally do. It sounds like they're laying in wait and trying to be quiet.
Then I am going to drag my way up the wall and attempt to go across the ceiling.
Using levitate?
Hopefully, yeah, using levitate still. Yeah.
Okay. And your eventual goal is to get back in through this archway and up the stairs?
Yeah.
And it's well after sundown by the time you actually do drag yourself out of the mausoleum.
And the rest of you, you see just a bat fly through the camp. Because Casey, I'm not going anywhere without Casey going out ahead of me.
So yeah, you guys see this bat fly out of the mausoleum.
Like if it flaps.
Send Scrappy over to the entrance. Oh, by the way, I rebuilt Scrappy overnight, so now he has like all of these terrible chains and plates of ruined armor over the places where large parts of his body had been melted away by the acid.
And then you see Seeker dragging himself along the ceiling of the mausoleum.
It's like, oh shit, Seeker's a vampire now. Shoot him. Because, oh wait, you don't look like a corpse anymore. Never mind.
And he just turns his head to look towards you, Gus. Pretty sure he's using the bat's vision because he doesn't do it quite right. And he says, Gus, I know you have some. I need it.
Have some what?
Gus, you're useless to me. Drunk Gus. I know you brought some. I know we told you not to, but you brought some anyway. I need it.
Oh, hold on. And I pull out the alchemy jug and make some number of gallons of wine.
Gus pulls out his what's supposed to be his water skin and hands it, and it's just beer.
Yeah, and Seeker's just like holds one finger up to the wine and then grabs the beer skin with his other hand and just downs it.
And it's like super stout beer.
And you see him just eyes closed drinking it.
It's a gallon. I make a gallon of wine and share some with
All right, I'll
everyone.
take the one now.
So this is all well and good, but we have a problem here now.
That is a problem for somebody else. We are not adventurers.
That's totally, yeah, that is more of an adventurer problem. I'm going to agree
Adventurers
with
would
that
have
one.
died in that.
How much would adventurers pay us to know where the lair of a young black dragon is?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a percentage of horde situation?
It might be.
So, alternately, we could go back. Alex, how
Yeah.
long would it take to get a license, a one-time license? I don't know, 50 pounds of dragon powder?
Ah.
What if we say it is for the express purpose to kill a dragon?
I don't. It's more about who you know than what you're using the dragon powder for. I don't think using dragon powder to kill a dragon is going to get you the license any easier.
Okay. All I'm saying is we get, I don't know.
I also think you would totally end up. Remember how, someone came to us and alerted us that they needed us to investigate a person who was buying enough dragon powder to blow up a kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
That would get someone doing that to us.
Yeah.
Well,
that would
we
be-
could bring the investigator with us. Blow up the dragon. We'll invite the We'll have a party. We'll throw a picnic. This hill's nice.
No,
We run.
no. I think this information is better sold to crazier adventurers than us.
We could ask, Warlock Spain if she knows anybody.
This seems like a Tom Wolfe sort of situation. Maybe he knows some people.
Hey Tom.
And he owes me. He owes
Tom,
me so much.
Tom, do you think you could get us 50 pounds of dragon powder to drop on the head of a dragon?
Or a
No.
adventuring party to.
Tom says that the most capable people he would know to hire to go down and exterminate the dragon is Flumph Inc. He's surprised all 5 of you went down there and against miraculous odds all limped out intact.
6 and all. That's
Floated
right.
out.
If he had
So-
if he had a mind to actually exterminate this dragon, you would be the first people he contacted.
Alright, so one of the ogres made off with whatever magic stuff. What exactly did you have? What was in that stash that we lost?
A lot of alchemical goods and a couple of just randomly generated DMG stuff.
Like common magic items, like the bullshit kind?
If we're gonna call him bullshit, then no, he didn't have anything. Like treasure table B and C kind of stuff, but the bulk of what he had would have been alchemical regents and whatnot.
I mean, the only thing that we might still want to do down there is we did never find the source of those pipes.
That's okay. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Also, I am interested in taking him up on his offer of whoever in Blue Worm is interested in those chain things,
Ugh.
But-
bear trap things.
I have no idea how to contain one of those. Like, I could maybe do something with it if I could. It almost
I don't
killed
even know there anymore.
Lucius, it almost killed you in like 6 seconds.
I know, but
Also, there's. I'm assuming Seeker told us that the guys are down there waiting in ambush.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of them. Also,
Then
I
we'll
might
roll
need to
them.
wait till morning on this one, guys. I might need a bit. Might need a bit.
We've already spent like what 2 days to get here.
Oh god,
Three-
what
this is like day 4.
Tomorrow will
Yeah,
be the
we've
morning
lost a
of
lot.
the 10th.
Hold on. And
Don't
it's
worry.
2 days to get here?
It was.
it was like a day and a half. Or
I don't think it was
something like that.
quite 2 days. Here, let me pull up.
I
the-
think we actually fought the guys on the second day, and then we went.
Okay, so first of all,
So this is
Linda-
like day 3.
we need to pay Linda on the 12th, though, you know, she's smart enough to just take it out of the funds
Out of
there.
the till.
We have to be back on the 18th for Choreo.
And
Tom,
we don't
what do
have
you-
it.
And we
What
don't
do you
have
know about the
anythings.
Firebloods, Tom? Tom?
Tom just knows the basic stuff that a lot of people do. The legends of
You know good.
the moving house and whatnot.
Do you know anything about? Do you have any ins with I don't know, any old blood nobles that we could leverage to get a meeting?
It's not really his social circles.
I didn't ask you if you bumped elbows with him. I asked him if you had any dirt we could use to.
What is Tom planning to do now? What are his plans in life?
Tom has difficulty moving. His plans right now are hopefully you guys are going to take him back to civilization where he can convalesce.
We
Okay.
would love to, Tom, but we
Where
need
in
you to be at
civilization
least somewhat
do you want to
useful.
go?
Yeah, what was the question, Alex?
Where in civilization do you want to go?
Ideally, definitely not Dunfoss,
Mm-hmm.
but you know what they say, beggars can't be choosers.
Can we see
Yeah.
the big map?
You want the region map?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Have you considered some sort of artificed replacement for your legs at this point if they can't be recovered? You can't heal?
We're not cutting off Tom's limbs. Stop that.
You guys are about here, a few miles off this
Yeah.
path was where the main manor was located. So, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 hexes away from Dunfoss. You can travel 4 hexes in a day. So this was about a day and a half to get here. And keep in mind that even zoomed in on the region map here, there are a lot of like homesteads and things around, especially when you get into the Dunfoss and farmland.
Hey, is this a town?
It's probably a little inn or something.
Okay.
Tom, do you have any friends up in the Dwarven lands?
Well, Tom's original plan was to go all the way up through north, up this direction, where he has friends up in the Gnomish lands in the forests.
Okay. So which road was he planning on taking? This way or this way? Oh, the long way.
He finds that it's more pleasant to stay off the roads, if at all possible. So probably he was going to drop this cache and then move cross-country north.
How'd that work out for you?
He said it worked out great until he was ambushed by bugbears.
Exactly. So, okay, we actually know somebody with a wagon who owes us a favor. we could probably get you to, like, he's what, in this square thereabouts?
He was when you helped him across that.
Do we know where his homestead is?
Yeah, he told us where he lived. He invited us for dinner.
Yep, that's correct.
So like basically we get him, we say we have this injured guy, and we say, as a favor for what we did before, can you run him either here or here so Tom can convalesce?
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to go to Dunfoss.
I mean, you guys did just catch him in this freaky warlock business in Dunfoss. So is that the plan? You're going to go to where...
That is my suggestion.
I think that's a pretty good plan. The only other thing is we could maybe disguise Tom and bring him back into the city for a day or two while we make other plans.
Does anyone know who you are, Tom? Like, why are you avoiding Dunfoss?
He's avoiding Dunfoss because Flumph Inc. just caught him ferreting illicit magical goods, which is illegal enough, but doing it in the service of this flying pig who has now committed multiple murders and is starting to get onto the radar of Hawthorne House and other authorities.
So
yeah, he's avoiding the flying pig because he backstabbed the flying pig.
Well, okay, all right. I was about to say, like, when you put it that way, maybe we should just turn him in. But no, he backstabbed the flying pig, so he's back. He's back in there.
Are you guys just trying to figure this out through conversation, or are you asking him pointedly why he doesn't want to go back there?
Seeker was basically saying, we're the people who can recognize you, and I'm not planning on turning you in.
I think we'd be having a conversation, but he'd probably be in earshot, so if he wanted to add anything, he could.
Okay.
And keep in
I don't
mind,
think we're trying to hide anything from Tom right now.
But yeah, basically betraying the flying pig, but also the fact that he doesn't want to be the target of any investigations when it comes to Hawthorne House back in Dunfoss. Things were just getting too hot. Best for him to get out of town for a while, and you definitely get the sense
hirelings too.
Right. You definitely get the sense this is not the first time that he's done this sort of thing.
So I do have a question for you, Tom. What are your plans about your affliction? Like, we do have the sample of water you can carry with you, of course, to hopefully get yourself, fixed. I hope you're not like I know that you share similar technical expertise with Alex, and I hope your plan is not to cut your legs off.
I feel like if you spent about a month, you could totally build an artificial leg.
He assures Gus that under no circumstances was he thinking of cutting his own legs off. The thought did not even cross his mind.
Good. I wonder, I just, listen, I've only got, and I kind of gestured to Alex, that's my measuring stick.
Okay. When do you guys start traveling south to get to where this halfling said his farmland was?
Oh, okay.
If we're just walking south...
I was going to ask if the chain deal, the chain creature thing is a completely non-starter, because, look, I'm fascinated by that regardless.
If you want to rest up another day and go down there and try it, and you have any idea on how to contain one of those things, I'm all for it, but that's the big problem. I don't know a good way to safely...
I don't know that any of them are still alive.
Here's the deal. Let me bring up the big map here. Okay, so you travel overland about 24 miles in a day. Each of these hexes is 60 miles. He knows the guy way down here in Blue Worm. He's saying he can probably get 2,000 gold for this curiosity. That's what he can negotiate. If you take it there, he just wants a small finder's fee. If you hire him to take it there after he recovers, he's going to want half.
I'm completely willing to give him half for that.
Yeah.
So here's my thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
We keep this under our hat. He has to recover anyway. We let him go off, recover. We buy a big cage, and we just put it in there. It's just metal, right? Metal can't chew through other harder
Wait,
metal.
don't we have a big cage specifically built to stop demons from breaking out of it?
We already
I think
have
we
a
do.
big cage.
We have that.
We let him go convalesce. We take our big cage. We come back. We cage it up. We ship him off to Blue Worm. If he tries to double cross us and take all the gold, I will find him. My God, do not cross me. I just backstabbed a dragon.
Oh, how'd you get out of that, by the way? I don't remember anything after I went down.
I am
Listen,
the seeker in the dark.
I think he's earned his. I think he's earned his free drinks at the inn for like the next month.
Did we take the 2 sending stones? And are those permanent or are those Artificer sending stones?
No, those are permanent. Those are...
And are
Good
those
for
in
it.
our possession now? Does
Yes, you
Tom
have
give us
both of
the other
those.
one?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna add that to my character sheet. So.
Let me
What's
ask
the
now,
range on those?
do any of the 5 of you
Later.
know much about the nature of dragons?
Nope.
Never came up.
Would that be a stupid enough topic? Florian to know it.
I'm gonna say yes, because
I
how
just know
often do
he's
you
from-
run into a dragon?
He's from Blue Worm. So would that affect knowledge of dragons at all?
Probably not. This is
I'm
gonna...
gonna say that-
So the answer to this question is gonna depend on whether your character has dragons in their backstory somewhere, or whether they have done this research on their own.
So I'm gonna give you a qualified answer, which is if it's a question about the capabilities of dragons, Seeker wouldn't. If it's a question about legends about dragons, Seeker probably would.
Okay?
Surf Niblum just avoid dragons because, like everything else, they eat Surf Niblum.
That's...
That's basically all. That's basically all I was ever told you needed to know growing up, and I didn't take any of those dragon classes in school.
Pretty much.
That's probably something similar to Gus. Gus was told to avoid dragons because they eat people, and if you see one, you about face and march the opposite direction.
So Florian,
Which-
you would probably
Lucius.
know the legend of how the city of Blue Worm got its name, and where that dragon was fought and killed. But other than blue dragons live in deserts, that's probably all you got. Lucius?
Lucius, like it's not very big. Lucius's focus of study was probably more along the lines of demons and devils and stuff, rather than than dragons and stuff.
Secret, give me a history or an arcana check.
All right, I'm gonna toss an Arcana check out here. That is a 19.
Dragons are highly magical creatures that are incredibly intelligent, but when they're young, they're very brash, reckless, and stubborn. Pretty much the only thing worse than being killed by a dragon is tricking one and damaging its pride. You have no doubt that you have made a fierce enemy for life.
Or the life of the dragon.
Look, we'll just kill you again. We got 4 more raised deads on tap.
I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think this. If what you say is true, then I don't think this dragon's gonna stop until it has seen your broken corpse.
And eating it.
So Seeker will explain this in the story, with essentially 2 legends that he had heard of in the past. One of them is basically goes like the way that you just said, this person pissed off a dragon and it chased him down and managed to find him a year down the line. He wasn't even thinking about the dragon anymore. But then the second one about where a group of adventurers pissed off a dragon and used that to make them track it down to make away from its hair, and then they were able to kill it and take all of its gold. That second legend he just came up with on the spot.
like I'm serious. Like if we want to actually kill this dragon, we have like it's a large, it's a circular, like tube, right? And the dragon is at the bottom.
So
We
if
just-
it's gonna try to hunt me down, we have our opportunity here.
Did
Make
dragons
ourselves
like
available.
talk? So you said they had gold one, right?
I've
Right?
heard of older ones talking.
Okay, so they have gold and they talk. So is the dragon gonna hire assassins to come and get you, or is it too proud and it's gonna like hire people to come and capture you?
I don't.
From what I remember, they're not very smart until they're older.
Okay,
So it would probably just try to catch me itself.
okay.
So you guys are heading south to the Halfling's farm.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you expecting to find there?
A chance to rest for a day and
No.
maybe a place for Tom to keep Tom for a day or two if we want to do this. Go get the cage, go back to the place, bring the thing back to here, and then get Tom to set out. Tom, does he need to do we need to like finance a wagon for him if he wants to go to Blue Worm?
Well, the problem right now is that his legs are broken from the fall.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been repaired.
Can I do some cure wounds to fix that? Like get him back to hit max HP and then do the same thing I did when my arm got broken in trap?
Yes, you could do that. Would be fine.
Over 2 days I can deliver 5 cure wounds if that'll do it.
Okay. It probably won't even take 5, but...
Okay.
So by evening of the next day, you guys are traveling to the south. You've managed to fix Tom's legs, and the aging effect on his legs is worrisome, but he's able to move around okay with a cane. So at some point, you guys would pull off to the side, and you went out and fashioned a walking stick or something, and something nice and thick that he can lean on, and he can get around without assistance at that point.
So what is our plan here? Like, are we sending Tom on our way and going home?
So what actually happens is you get to the part of the road where the halfling insisted that you guys have to stop off on your journey back, that you're always welcome to come in, that he'll have a nice fat slab of steak and a frothy mug of mead waiting for you, having helped him out of his bind. What you actually find, however, is a large fenced-in area a mile or two off of the main road. You follow this dirt path for a little while through some fields that are overgrown and untended until you get to the actual farmhouse. And looking at it, to travel there, there's a fence around the perimeter of it, maybe the 100 or 120 feet around it, and a pen, a much larger fenced-in area next to it where cattle might be raised. However, you don't see any grazing, and everything looks completely overgrown. And part of the fence, both around the house and around the grazing patch, is fallen into disrepair. The house itself, looking at it, does not look very inviting. There's no smoke coming out of the chimney. There's no signs of life.
How long does it look like it's been abandoned?
You wouldn't swear that it's been abandoned. It just doesn't look like there's anybody there now. It's a 2-story house, but it's also partially built into the side of a large hill, which is pretty par for the course for halflings, especially in this area. They would have like a halfling burrow, but they would have a couple of rooms built onto the side of the house for entertaining human guests and visitors and things. And it looks like that's what's happened here.
Are there wagon tracks going in and out?
There are wagon ruts all up the dirt road that you've followed.
Okay.
Yeah, knock on the door.
We are going in. I am not leaving it out here. He owes us a favor.
Okay. Who's knocking on the door?
Seeker.
Seeker.
Seeker is invincible.
You're a wizard, right? Do your best Gandalf.
We shall pass this door.
After a moment, Seeker, the door cracks open just a tiny bit. And so the beam of sunlight hits the wooden floor inside. And you notice a chain a golden chain, actually, holding the door, so it can't be opened further than a few inches. And you hear a voice from the other side. It's a woman's voice, and it sounds a little raspy. Like someone's had a hard, dry cough for a little while. And she asks, whether your journey was harrowing.
It was fairly harrowing, yes.
Yes, it was. We were hoping to call upon the hospitality of, I can't remember the halfling's name, but Lucius
Actually,
remember that.
Belwick.
He actually gave us one.
Yenry Belwick.
We helped Henry
Belwick.
Belwick get his wagon out of a rut. He was stuck.
And the woman's voice says that Yenry is her son. And you chance to meet him on the road, and it sounds like you've helped him considerably. For that, you have her gratitude. She asks if you will come in and take rest. Seeker, it's daylight outside, but the house, there's no light inside. You don't see a hearth burning. None of the windows are opened. It's dark inside.
Okay, so here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
We just dealt with a dragon. No, Seeker's saying this out loud.
Okay.
So, unless you're like killing people in there, we really don't care. We don't care what illegal stuff you're doing. We just want to rest. But please, please, we are not in the mood right now.
And she says, by all means, come in and take rests. How many are you?
All right, and the
6
Seeker
now,
just
it looks like.
kind of just waves. Come on, we're doing something.
7, but one of us doesn't need to eat.
And she reaches up with a small rod or device with a hook on it to undo the chain. She being a halfling, she's not tall enough to reach up and do it herself. And the door opens into this dark, cold, foreboding entrance room.
Quick check. When she reaches up and does all that stuff,
Mhm.
Tony's going to be checking out the
You mean
room.
Casey?
Does she? Yeah, Casey. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Casey. Does she look like? Is she in the correct shape? That Casey's blind sight reports back. Like
Well,
she looks.
She's a halfling.
Okay. What about the rest of the room?
The rest of the room, typically you'd see like a small, like living room area. There'd be a hearth against one wall, and in fact there is, it's just not lit. There would be windows wide open allowing in light and cool breeze, but they're closed. There's a rug on the floor. There's a hat stand next to you as you go in. Like all of the comforts you'd expect of a friendly hobbit hole are here. They're just not turned on, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And Seeker will wait for the others to catch up behind him, but then he'll walk in using Casey's senses to navigate his way into the room,
Which of you
taking a look around.
currently has the highest hit points? And is everybody going into the house?
Well, let's... Okay, so we got one long rest, and I dropped... Do we get a second long rest during traveling, or is it the same day?
This is the end of the second day.
Okay.
So you haven't had time for to take another long rest
Okay,
yet.
so I dumped all my yours into getting Tom back. That would mean that I have not... Okay, so I have 22 hit points right now.
28.
I'm also
11.
sitting at 22.
More than me.
So
So
20.
someone 20.
Gus has 28.
Mhm.
Gus, what are you wearing over your armor?
What am I wearing over my armor?
Cloak, cape.
I've got a cloak, and probably I wear a tabard with the symbol of the mercenary band that I was in over my armor as well. So just like a cloth tabard and just a traveling cloak.
Okay. As you guys enter, she turns to Gus, the woman in the doorway, and reaches up to your cloak, asks if she can take your cloak.
No.
She motions over towards where there's a couple of large, comfortable but uninviting looking chairs sitting facing the hearth, a pair of them. She asks if you will come in and take a seat, perhaps pull off your boots.
Lucius is absolutely all for that. He's been out on the road for 4 days.
She's
He
not
is
talking
not-
to you.
Lucius
She's
is already
talking.
moving over there.
Okay.
He's already moving over there. He's already moving over to that.
Gus is weirded out by the attention, and he says, "No, I would not yet. I have to see to." And he points at Tom, and because he's going to check on Tom and make sure Tom is comfortable first.
And Tom is kind of looking over the room. He's kind of caned his way halfway in and is looking around, glancing at some of the knickknacks on the various shelves. There's a couple exits to this room, one of which goes off into a dining room area, beyond which you see a door that you surmise leads into a kitchen. The other door goes into a hallway, which starts descending down into the burrow area.
So, what does this halfling woman look like? Looks
like a halfling woman.
Okay, all right. She's supposed to say she's not like evil, blind hag halfling.
No, she pushes the door closed behind you. She's dressed plainly in kind of dingy-looking clothes, not tattered and old and torn, but definitely not fancy by any stretch.
So, where's your son? We wanted to hire his wagon, I think.
Oh, she tells you that he's making a delivery to the mountains of the north, and he's not due back for several more days. But if it's true that you met him on the road and he's promised you his hospitality, that she is more than willing to give you food and drink and rest for as long as it is that you may need it.
Do you prefer wine or beer? And do you have any cups to serve it